Hey, what is going on? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see, we're back at it with a tier list, and this one's gonna be ranking all of the best players that we got in NBA 2K20 Myteam. So if you guys are excited, make sure you guys go, like the video, subscribe if you guys are new, road to 10K, all of that wonderful stuff. I will also have the link to all of our other tier lists. The point guard, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers will all be linked down below if you want to watch them separately and see where they're ranked at their respective positions instead of just comparative to each other. So here we are with our first guy, Tyrell Brandon, somebody who I was not lucky enough to get, but Tyrell Brandon, absolute demon. My guy is probably one of the better PGs that we have in the game right now. I definitely won't say he's the best, but he's on the higher end. And it's because he has a bunch of great playmaking badges. He's stupid quick with his 93 speed. He can still hit the three ball a little bit. He can dunk occasionally, has really good playmaking, good mid-range. He has awesome Ray Allen jump shot base, which you gotta love. And his dribbling moves are stupid nice. Now, I think the longevity of this Tyrell Brandon card isn't going to be that high because he is obviously a 5'11 PG, but he is an absolute demon. He is a super nice card, and I feel like anything other than like B or A tier is pretty disrespectful to my guy, so I am gonna throw him into B. I feel like he is super solid, but taking into account he's probably not gonna be that great for a little while, and his defense is very lackluster. I'm going to have to put him only in B tier. But I do love Tyrell Brandon as a card overall. So he's real nice. Next up, we have Diamond Steve Nash, 6'3", 4 Hoff badges. Dimer, flashy passer, floor general, needle threader. Some of my favorite ones in the game, for being honest. And again, it's just like Tyrell Brandon. We're really quick. We have amazing playmaking. But the thing about Steve Nash that's a little bit different, he's actually a significantly better shooter. 92 3-point shot and a 90 mid. And a decent jump shot. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's definitely not too bad. And overall, really solid card. But isn't as good as finishing, but is definitely, well, feels like he's a better shooter, but doesn't have the badges really to back it up. So I feel like a badged out Steve Nash would be better than Tyrell Brandon, but as they are, they're pretty even for me because I feel like you're kind of in this toss-up situation of like, what do I want more? Do I want finishing more with Tyrell Brandon, or do I want shooting and playmaking more with Steve Nash? You're at that crossroads between the two, but otherwise, not too much different, especially on the defense end. They're both pretty bad. Next up, we have Stefan Marberry, who honestly pretty solid card, and I for sure have to go ahead and get him eventually. But 30 gold badges, which are all really nice, amazing at finishing, amazing playmaking, some really solid shooting as well, which I feel like is low-key underrated, like low-key. But Tyrell Brandon, not Tyrell Brandon, but Stefan Marberry is amazing. He has a nice 79 shot 3, which is definitely a little bit lower than the other guys we've been talking about. But Derrick Rose animations, all of which are amazing. He has an 84 on-ball steal tendency, which is beautiful. He can dunk, unlike the other guys that we've really talked about. But his defense is just as bad with some really solid playmaking. Now, if I had to be honest, I do feel like I would probably take a Stefan Marberry over a Tyrell Brandon and Steve Nash because he can, slash to the basket just as well and dunk with his gold quick first step. And he does have more shooting badges than somebody like Steve Nash. So although he doesn't have the higher stats, he does have better badges, so it can help him shoot a little bit better. So I am going to put Stefan Marberry up into A tier. I feel like I like the placement there. Hopefully it'll make sense as we go through it. Next up, we got Paul Pierce, and I feel like with Paul Pierce, there is nowhere to go but S tier. Paul Pierce is probably one of the best cards that we have in the game. Some people are saying that like Kevin Durant's the best small forward and all of this and that, and people forget that like Paul Pierce is a thing. Like Paul Pierce, absolutely insane. I love his jump shot. I mean, come on, it's just beautiful. It's so easy to time that you really can't hate it. He's 6'7" that can play at the 3, has catch and shoot, clutch shooter, and tireless shooter, all in Hall of Fame, has gold clamps, has amazing shooting badges along with the Hall of Fame ones, like range extender, a 92 shot 3 and mid range. He can speed boost with a shoe or some sort of coach boost. He's pretty quick as well, has some decent tendencies, and his dribbling animations are really nice. Paul Pierce, easily S tier, and same thing I feel like goes for Paul George. Now, some people I feel like would probably put him A tier and disrespect him a little bit, but the thing with PG is I feel like Paul George's jump shot for me is one of the smoothest feeling and best feeling in the game. He has Chase Honors and Pogo Stick as two of his Hall of Fame badges, which is a little lackluster, but still not bad. It has gold clamps, an 83 shot 3. He can drive to the basket like crazy, speed boost off rip, so no shoe is needed. Awesome defense, and he actually is quicker than Paul Pierce as well. I think his only negative is the fact that he doesn't have any sort of range extender. But right now, it's not a very common thing, so I don't think I can really hold it against him. Like, if you have range extender, that's great, but I can't really warrant range extender being a negative when not everybody is getting it right now. Next up, we have Nate Archibald, and we're not talking about, the diamond Nate Archibald that you just get off rip. We're talking about the pink diamond Nate Archibald that you get after that wonderful little Evo. And Nate Archibald, I love him, man. 6'1", which is honestly not too bad, especially for somebody who's nicknamed Tiny, but has 33 gold badges, and they just help him on everything: finishing, shooting, and playmaking. No defense, sadly. I feel like he does get some defensive badges, but nothing that you would really care about. Like, pick down or pickpocket are nice, but if you don't have clamps, like, really, what's the point? He can't dunk either, which is sad. He doesn't gain that in his Evo, but he does have a 96 speed. He has an 84 midi and some nice shooting with the PG base as well. So I feel like, to me, Nate Archibald has always been very, very similar to Tyrell Brandon. So I feel like wherever you're going to be ranking Tyrell Brandon, Nate Archibald shouldn't be very far behind, because their stats really aren't too different. They're both very solid cards. The only reason I feel like somebody would hate them is because they're shorter and don't have range. But at this point, again, not everybody really has range. Next up, we have Marquis Johnson, who is a card that actually upsets me, because he should be amazing, but he just does not, and he does not have the badges to back it up. No defensive badges, no playmaking badges, only 2 shooting badges, catch and shoot and difficult shots, and then has really nice finishing badges. I'll give him that. His finishing is absolutely insane. His finishing is like crazy. But I feel like when it comes to badges, I'm going to put him into C tier, because for me, Marquis Johnson not having badges for anything other than his finishing is super disappointing. Like, super disappointing. You really only can get to the basket and finish with him, and yeah, that's tough to me. That's tough to me. But next up, we got my guy, Manu Ginobili. And I've been seeing some people that say, Manu Ginobili's shot ain't that. It sucks. It's awful. But I've actually seen more people green with Manu Ginobili when I've been playing Unlimited than any other card in the entire game. People, like, the shot's not great. I'll give you that. But his dribbling animations are so clean, and his jump shot off catch is just so easy to time that although it looks weird, it's amazing. He also has bronze clamps off rip, which means you can upgrade it, which is cool. And solid defensive stats. He's stupid quick too. He can dunk, and has 5 Hall of Fame badges, all in finishing, and some of the best ones you could have in the game. Acrobat, fancy footwork, consistent finisher, pro touch, and auxiliary finisher, all of which are amazing. His only negative, again, is that he doesn't have flexible release. But if we look at the 2 guys that we got up in here, they can do a little bit of everything and have that gold clamps, and I feel like that's kind of the marquee set that we do have to have. So Manu Ginobili is going to go into A tier. I absolutely love him, but Paul George, Paul Pierce, both got that gold clamps, both can still shoot just as well as Manu. So because they have that better defense, I gotta rank him a little bit higher. And next up, we got Kyle Lowry, one of my favorite cards in the entire game. This Lowry is just, to me, probably the best free card you could get. He is only 6 foot, which is a little bit tough, but comes with silver range extender, which obviously big dubs. Has a nice shooting with the 83 shot 3 and 82 shot mid, a really nice jump shot. He's super quick as well. Has awesome playmaking, awesome defense with gold clamps. Only thing he can't do is play in the post and dunk. And he does have a little bit of a lack of, I guess, finishing badges as well as gold shooting badges, but this Kyle Lowry is just too insane with everything else, including his dribbling animations, that I really can't put him anywhere lower than A. And I feel like if you put Kyle Lowry lower than A, you're just disrespecting him. I really haven't used him like that, because he's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Next up, we got Kobe Bryant, 1 Hall of Fame badge, volume shooter. And if I'm being honest, his total badge number is very impressive. His total stats are pretty nice, but the badges that I care about being great aren't exactly amazing. Kobe doesn't have any sort of quick first step, which is really hurtful. Only has bronze clamps, again, hurtful. Only has silver House of Hunter. I want that to be gold. I want Pro Touch to be gold. And there's just a little something missing, I feel like, with this Kobe. He can speed boost off rip. He's nice and quick. He has some decent defense. But, like, everything about him is at that, like, average level and isn't exactly at that, you know, next level insane kind of tier. He can still be solid. He can still be amazing. But it hurts me, man. No quick first step. I think I have to put him C, because no quick first step, although you can do a lot of things great without quick first step, man, it is a massive, massive hindrance. So that's the one badge that I feel like I have to be pretty strict on people having, because if you don't, it's a tough day. And next up, we got KD, who has silver quick first step, which is nice, and 2 Hall of Fame badges, Green Machine and Tireless Shooter. Green Machine being one of the good ones, and then also bronze range extender. Now, I have said that people are saying that this Kevin Durant is the best small forward in the game. While I do believe he is up in the S tier with everybody else here, I don't believe that he's the best. I still think Paul Pierce has got him by a little bit, but this Kevin Durant is amazing, man. Comes with gold range, amazing dribbling animations, amazing shooting, awesome post game with that post fade, can speed boost off rip, has some good defense if you badge him out, could be the best small forward once badged, but I think as the base cards alone, Paul Pierce has still got him. And next up, we got Kenny Smith, my guy, who again reminds me of Tyrell Brandon and Nate Archibald. You know, he gives me similar vibes to both of them, just like the budget version of them. And the reason I put him in here is because he is one of the best rubies that we have in the game. So I feel like it made sense, because if you look at this Kenny Smith, the things that he can do great are get that shooting done, some nice playmaking with silver quick first step, finish at the basket pretty nice with an 80 driving dunk and some nice layups. That's like, woo, look at him go. And some nice animations as well. Now, his dribbling ones definitely are not as great as Tyrell Brandon and Nate Archibald, but I really haven't seen too many triple crowds out here, so right now, it doesn't matter too much. I'm going to put him on the B tier with everybody else. Very, very, very solid card. And next up, John Stockton. I do not care what anybody says. This John Stockton is up into S with the best, my guy. I love this John Stockton card. Like, seriously, this John Stockton card is my favorite card in the entire game. I picked him up, I think yesterday morning, to go ahead and crank out a bunch of limited games with him, use him as my PG, and I have not had a more fun time in a game mode in quite a while. Even though he's 6'1", the 4 Hall of Fame badges that he has, being Giant Slayer, Dimer, Floor General, and Unpluckable, are literally 4 of the best Hall of Fame badges you could have. Giant Slayer so we can finish over everybody, Dimer so everybody can shoot better off of his passes, Floor General so everybody has better offense, and Unpluckable so he doesn't lose the ball. Then has amazing playmaking, a 90 driving and 80 standing dunk as a PG, which is insane, some of the best dunking animations in the game, a 94 3-point shot, 92 mid-range, amazing defense with his gold clamps, and a beautiful jump shot, and beautiful dribbling animations with the Steph Curry layup package, which is cheesy, and has an 89 on ball steal, 80 contest shot. Like, John Stockton, best PG in the game, no question. If people argue with you, they're just lying. Like, it's cap. It's cap. This John Stockton is absolutely insane. Like, I love this John Stockton card. Like, come on. Next up, we have my guy, Jojo White, who I think is on one of those cards where badged out could be very, very, very nice, but like is the case, I think, with a lot of the Pink Diamond Token Market cards, they're just a little bit lackluster to me. But Jojo White's amazing thing is his 2 Hall of Fame badges are Acrobat and Fancy Footwork, and he comes with gold range extender off rip and a bunch of really good playmaking badges, like almost all of them besides Bailout, Downhill, Handles for Days, and then the 2 post ones. And his defense is insane, like insane defense, but then they don't give him clamps, so I think you can add clamps to him, and if you do, that's when he gets into that S tier kind of category, because he has amazing tendencies, he has some really good dribbling animations, he's basically a better Nate Archibald if you badge him out. But I don't think he cracks into the S tier yet because of that, you know, amazing defense but no clamps, so he's still going to get blown by. Lack of finishing badges, lack of defensive badges, and honestly lack of shooting badges. Like, the shooting badges that he does have are very solid, but he's missing Deadeye, he's missing Flexible Release, he's missing Hot Zone Hunter, and he's missing Green Machine, so that's tough. He's missing Pro Touch, he's missing, well, is it Consistent Finisher, you know, things like that. Giant Slayer even, and he's a little undersized, so that will hurt. So, amazing, but a few things are holding him back from that, you know, absolutely insane S tier kind of level. Next up, we got Jerry West. And Jerry West, I slept on for a while last year, but I came to realize how amazing he is. And as A tier, he is going to B. And that's because the reason I was sleeping on Jerry West is because he's a 6'2" PG, I didn't really look into him. But he's a 6'9" wingspan, which means his defense is going to feel significantly better than it already looks. So, which is nice. And he has 4 Hall of Fame badges right over here. Facility finisher, clutch shooter, floor general, and tireless defender. All really nice. Also comes with gold clamps. Has 30 total gold badges. You know, quick first step, dimer, all the massive ones. Amazing playmaking, amazing defense, awesome speed, awesome shooting. Only thing he can't do, rebound, play in the post, and dunk. Honestly, I can get over that. Has an 86 on-ball steal as well. Amazing jump shot. I love his dribbling animations. I think the Pro 5 behind the back is like one of my top 3. I think 3, 5, and 6 are the ones that I like. So, you know, honestly, not too bad. And Jerry West, just a overall beautiful, beautiful card, if we're being honest. And same thing goes with this Jason Kidd. Is a beautiful, beautiful card. Just because, you know, he comes with so many badges. Now, the one thing Jason Kidd can't do is shoot. And that's something that he can't really do every year just because his jump shot is always pretty bad. But this year, his jump shot actually has a really high total make percentage, so it does help him a little bit. He's got a nice on-ball steal tendency. He has amazing defense and playmaking, as well as finishing with a really high speed. I think he's a very, very solid card. And this Jason Kidd, I feel like gets hated on because his jump shot is so bad, but he always does everything else so well that it's hard for me personally to knock him down. You know, some people might hate his jump shot so much they're putting him down in C and D tier, but I'm gonna throw Jason Kidd up into B. Like I mess with the guy. And same with Isaiah Thomas. I mess with him. I don't really think Isaiah Thomas is gonna be a card that I'll ever really pick up for myself personally, but he's solid, man. 3 Hall of Fame badges, floor general, dimer, tight handles, has gold clamps, and awesome defense, awesome playmaking, and some pretty good finishing. He has good stats, but his finishing badges are a little bit lackluster again. You know, I want consistent. I want Giant Slayer. I want Pro Touch. He's missing them. It hurts. His shooting has some decent animations, but we're missing the badges. So it's a little bit tough for me personally. Again, I personally feel like he's up there in like the B tier because we're good at defense and playmaking, but we just don't have it up there. And next up, we have Gus Williams. And I feel like I'm probably going to have one of the more controversial takes on this Gus Williams card because he's very, very, very good. But I don't take in badged up versions of cards into account. Like, I'll tell you guys, like I have with some of these cards, why they could be good, but I'm not going to rank them based off of their badged up versions. Like, if Jojo White was ranked off as badged up version or Manu, they'd be up in an S. Gus Williams is great at finishing and playmaking, but his defense is horrible. Now, you can badge him up with clamps, but the main draw to this Gus Williams is that you can speed boost down the court and finish layups. And I don't think that's the most amazing long-term goal of a card. So for me personally, this Gus Williams has never really felt amazing, and I'm going to throw him into D tier. For me, he's just like another version of a Russell Westbrook card. I'm not really a fan. I don't really understand the whole hype around him. Like, yeah, he's fast, but what else does he give you? So, yeah, I'm throwing him down there. And next up, George Miken. For me, always will be this S tier. Well, not always, but is S tier in every sense, just because I love this card so much. George Miken, still use him as my starting center. He is beautiful. It's a grind and a half to get him, but he's amazing. Has drop stepper, putback boss, and post-back technician, all on Hall of Fame. His defense is amazing in the paint. Has some awesome rebounding as well. Has amazing post game, obviously, as you guys saw. Shooting is beautiful. 80 shot 3. Has catch and shoot, deep fades, flexible release, screen machine, hot swing hunter, and pick and popper. So the pick and pop with George Miken is beautiful. If I had to point out one negative, it's that he's a little bit slow and his tendencies aren't the most amazing, but his jump shot 4 is beautiful. I just love this George Miken. And if you go through the absolute grind to get him, it's well worth it. And same goes with this Gary Payton. Now, this Gary Payton, I've realized is very good, you know, and that's because of his defense. And the thing that I think a lot of people get a little bit annoyed with me with is that I love Gary Payton because he's such a good defender, but I can't give him the offensive nod that I think a lot of other people do. He is great at it, but for me, he is a slightly worse Kyle Lowry, and I'm going to throw him into A tier But Lowry has, good enough defense, has just as good playmaking, has significantly better shooting, and I would argue better finishing as well, with better animations. The only thing Gary Payton really has is that his on-ball steal tendency is loads higher. Like, loads higher. There's a 98 on-ball steal tendency with Gary Payton. And that's not to say Gary Payton is bad. He just, to me, isn't on par with everybody else, that we got here. Like, at all. And also, I think, I was debating moving some people around, but we'll see how that goes. We're going to put Elgin Baylor up in S tier. At Evo, this Elgin Baylor is still one of the best cards of the game. At Opal, this Elgin Baylor gets insane. If you're just looking at Elgin Baylor as his base card, like just Elgin Baylor alone, I feel like that's a very big disservice to how good he actually is. Once you Evo him up, Elgin Baylor goes up to a 90 mid-range, gets a amazing 89 perimeter defense, a 65 standing dunk, which is actually super solid. He goes up to gold clamps, he gets intimidator, tight suspender, pogo stick, all on gold, green machine, and hot zone hunter, as well as volume shooter. So he gets significantly better on defense, a better shooter, and he's already an insane finisher at Opal. Like, you gotta love the guy. I'm leaving him into S tier. You can argue, but I won't listen. And next up, we do have Draymond Green. And now that I'm looking at it, maybe Paul George is down in the A tier. We'll have to see. I'm going to put Draymond Green up in S tier. I feel like, again, once you badge this Draymond Green card out, there is no way in hell that he isn't like S tier. He is just absolutely insane. Derrick Rose, I got into S. I don't know why I'm going so quick all of a sudden. But Draymond Green, normally is still an amazing card. If you badge him out, this Draymond Green is like a top 2 card in the game, and I don't even know if he's 2. Like, he is absolutely insane. You can add range extender onto this Draymond Green with a badge, which is just insane. But even off basis, this Draymond Green is one of the best rebounders in the game, one of the best defenders, can still spread the floor and get some nice rebounds with you, and can finish pretty nice, especially in the post. Draymond Green, absolute beast. Dave Bing, see, get out of here, man. Dave Bing's jump shot is absolutely horrible. You might be able to play great with him, but the vast majority of people I don't think are going to be very good with this card. I don't feel like he is on this whole other level of nice. Dave Bing just, he makes layups. I should be a fan of him because, I'm a big Cuse guy, but I really just cannot warrant using this Dave Bing card. His jump shot is just so horrible that I actually leave everybody completely wide open whenever they use this Dave Bing card, and it's literally instant buckets for me. I can't do it. Also, we made some changes. But next up, we do have Chris Webber, who I've said multiple times, this Chris Webber is literally like, if you want a run and gun, get rebounds, play not too much defense, and just score a bunch, that's what Chris Webber is for, man. He has a pretty decent shot, really good midi, just okay 3-ball. Amazing post game, amazing finishing. He's actually pretty quick as well. Awesome rebounding, and has Hoff rebound chaser and post big technician. So he's going to be an amazing finisher, rebounder, everything like that, and just like rim running big. But the thing that you don't get with this Chris Webber is really any sort of defense, like at all. So while I do think he is somewhere between this like A to B tier, I feel like it's a little bit tough. Honestly, yeah, I think I'm going to leave him in B. I think he fits well into B tier. I don't feel like I don't like him better than Paul George. I don't like him better than Jojo White or Lowry or Manu, but he's still a very, very solid card. He's definitely not C. But yeah. Next up, Brandon Roy. This one for me is tough. I feel like if Brandon Roy came with clamps, off rip, I would put him into S. But because Brandon Roy doesn't come with clamps like off rip, it's a little bit tough. He just has amazing badges, I'll say that. Hoff contact finisher, fast break finisher, relentless clutch shooter, and ice and beige, which is great. Has hot zone hunter on gold. Sadly has steady shooter on silver, and has silver quick first step. He has amazing finishing, amazing shooting with that trade break base. He can speed boost off rip, and has awesome playmaking or speed as well. But his defense stats are good, and he does not come with clamps, and his tendencies are a little bit tough. His dribbling animations are good, but I definitely wouldn't call them the best. I feel like if he came with clamps, again, I would throw him up in there, but because he's missing that aspect of it, it's a little bit tough. Like Paul Pierce, range center, and clamps. Draymond Green is a big, so I can't really compare too well. Kevin Durant has clamps, at some form and has a range extender. John Stockton has a bit of range extender, can finish just as well, and has clamps. George Miken, again, center, so I can't really compare. And Elgin Baylor has gold clamps, just doesn't have range extender, but does everything else insanely well. Brandon Roy, just a little knock below. And some of you guys might be surprised, but we got Boris and Dio in here, probably one of my favorite cards in the game. It's one Hall of Fame badge, which is tough and flashy passer. I hate that that's his one Hall of Fame badge, but is what it is. And 15 gold badges, 15 silver badges. He's got clamps, he's got rebound chaser, intimidator, everything. A beautiful green machine, hot zone. Hunter even has silver dimer, has amazing finishing in the post and just dunking in general. An awesome jump shot in jump shot 40. Pretty good speed at the 4 as well. Some great dribbling animations, if I'm being honest, as well. And his tendencies are beautiful. When it comes to, I think, the best cards in the game, he is for sure B tier. But when it comes to being like that glue guy, like that man that you're going to throw in and do a lot of things really well for you, just kind of give you really quality minutes and just do a little bit of everything, he's got to be like top tier for that. And for budget players, top tier. Like, come on, top tier. Next up, my guy, Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier is one of those cards that fits a niche of really shooting the occasional midi, playing in the post, getting rebounds, and playing a bit of defense. I will say his defensive badges are a little bit lackluster. Like no defensive leader, no intimidator, no hard crusher, no pogo stick, no post and lockdown, no tireless defender, no trapper. You guys are kind of getting the gist. So he's really just kind of like a good rebounder, an okay defender with amazing finishing. So I will put Bob Lanier into B tier. I feel like it would be a crime to really put him lower, but yeah, B tier I think is solid. And maybe I will. Oh, I'm debating knocking Jason Kidd down to C, but you know what, maybe we will. Oh, that's not Jason Kidd. That is Jason Kidd. We'll move Jason Kidd down to C. I know I was talking a lot of ish, but you know, at least he's not D. At least he's not D tier. I do like Jason Kidd. I do think he's better than people give him credit for, but he's really not on par with these guys. Bob Cousy is easy A tier. Again, Bob Cousy, only knock is that he can't dunk. You know, my guy just can't dunk, and that's tough. But he's a pasty white boy. Why do we expect him to dunk? You know, he's 6'1", 4 Hall of Fame badges to help him in finishing, although they are his only Hall of Fame badges in finishing. He's got gold clamps, amazing playmaking, amazing shooting, but no range center. Keep that in mind. His tendencies are okay, but really not too great. Has a Chris Paul jump shot, which is solid. Some nice shooting, some nice everything just with him. I like Bob Cousy. I think he's a very, very solid card. And next up, we got my guy, Ben Wallace, who, again, I don't feel like people give him enough credit for how good he is, but I think in the general scope of amazing cards, he is on the same level as Bob Lanier for me. And that's because Ben Wallace is the best defender and best rebounder in the game, like, no cap. The only card I think that's like a non-shooting center that I would pick above him would be Nate Thurmond, who I would easily throw into A tier. And that's really about it. Obviously, George Miken doesn't fall into that because he's a shooting center. But Ben Wallace is just literally the best defender you could possibly have when it comes to being in the paint, and best rebounder. But his shooting is non-existent, and obviously just doesn't have any playmaking. His finishing is great, but that's really all he gives you, and it's a little bit tough to, you know, warrant putting him higher. And same thing goes for Artis Gilmore. Even after the Evo at Pink Diamond, which I sadly went through that entire process of doing, I can't say I recommend it. Artis Gilmore is a 7'2" guy. He is massive, like a massive behemoth of a man in the paint. And he's amazing, you know. He has everything that you would want: a good post game, a good mid-range, awesome finishing, awesome defense and rebounding, but he's a little bit slow. He can't really shoot the 3-ball, but can shoot the midi, and has some nice badges, but just not as many as I really would like him. I feel like his badges really are the thing that brings him back to earth and pulls him down, because a 7'2" guy with how great his defensive overall is should be amazing, but there's a little something about Artis that this year it doesn't feel as pure, it doesn't feel as fun. So sadly, my guy's gonna have to fall in the B. But this is our rankings for the best cards in the game. Obviously, I know I have a bit of a controversial one of Gus Williams down here, but I just definitely feel like everybody up here is just a little bit better than him, except for maybe Dave Bing. But you know, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about this list down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys like the video if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new. on that road to 10K. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video.